welcome you once again edition of the Institute Global Masterclass. Because of the timing, we won't be able to take a legal introduction. We are sure before the day runs out, or perhaps tomorrow morning, we'll still get to the introduction. We'd like to know ourselves very well. We'd like to do proper introduction from everyone. We'd like to hear from the program. You will see that we are expected to start with the keynote address. Keynote address. My name is Lambert Isaac. I'm an assistant professor of accounting and finance, and also the African representative of Business Global. Now, at this point, to give us a virtual introduction, all the way from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, United States, is no other person than our global representative, just doubles and training director of Institute Global. This is really participants with a warm round of applause. Thank you very much.
Good morning, digital accountants and system accountants across the globe. And I say good morning to our coordinators right there in Nigeria. And I say good morning to those also joining who are yet to become members. That's the inductees. It is with great pleasure and honor to welcome you to the July edition of the Masterclass program of the Association of Chartered Certified System Accountants Global. And of course, the theme of this July edition is Cybersecurity, Digital Tools, and Smart Tax. Welcome to a new era of professional excellence. The future belongs to professionals who embrace innovation, leverage technology, and continuously reinvent themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, today marks the beginning of new knowledge, new opportunities, new professional networks, new digital competencies, new possibilities. And I say welcome to ACCSA Global. Who we are, I will state at this juncture that before the presentation of certificate on Friday, there is a session that has been devoted for about ACCSA Global. But in a nutshell, ACCSA Global is committed to developing globally competitive professionals through digital transformation, cybersecurity, leadership and governance, professional education, data analytics, artificial intelligence, smart tax systems. Put in another way, the singular focus of ACCSA Global is to bridge the digital divide in the teaching and practice, accounting, finance, tax, and related fields across the globe. And we have been doing this for years with impact globally. Our vision is to bridge the gap between accounting, finance, technology, and innovation. Ladies and gentlemen, the world has changed. Today's world is driven by artificial intelligence, cloud computing, digital finance, cybersecurity, data analytics, automation, smart tax administration. And the question is, are we prepared for this digital future? Let us see yesterday versus today. Yesterday, we have manual accounting, paper audits, manual tax administration, Excel only reactive decisions. But today, we have digital finance, intelligent audits, smart tax systems, AI plus Excel plus Power BI. Then we have predictive analytics. The future requires new skills. Let me put it this way. In time management, when you are talking about management of time, you need digital tools to help you to effectively and efficiently manage your time. Don't forget, all over the world, whether we talk about North America, we talk about Asia, we talk about Africa, Europe, Antarctica, Australia, Africa, we all have the same number of hours. There are 24 hours in a day and 168 hours in a week. And a popular saying that people relate to time in many different ways. Historians record time. Musicians mark time. Prisoners serve time. Referees call time. Loafers kill time. Statisticians keep time. No matter how people relate to time, we all have equal number of hours. As a digital technology-oriented professional, we will not expect you in a competitive world to stick to yesterday, manual. It was Robert Kiyosaki who put it this way. The insanity is doing the same thing the same way and expect a change. So if you want to experience a new service, a new result, a new product, we have to change the process. We in ACCSA Global cannot afford analog in an era of digital revolution, digital Darwinism, and of course, digital intelligence. So the future requires new skills, and this is the time to prepare for that future. Cybersecurity, digital tools, and smart tax. 3 strategic pillars. Cybersecurity, part of what we're going to be seeing within these 3 days. Digital tools, our hands will be put to work. That is one of the distinguishing features that make ACCSA Global unique. You will not come to a program of this nature, day 1, day 2, day 3, and your hands will not touch the system. It's one of the reasons we have asked us to come along with our devices. Then smart tax systems. Let me put it this way. In March 2023, that is this year, I was in Nigeria, and the Nigerian Revenue Service, which we call also Federal Inland Revenue Service, have our organization the notice of assessment. That's our tax liability, to be specific, value-added tax. And when I saw what they sent to the office, it was over 16 million naira we are expected to pay for 2025 year 2025. I sat down with some of these digital tools, uploaded the bank statement of our organization, and I prompted artificial intelligence, relevant prompting, and a bank statement that was over 82 pages. First attempt, I did not get the result. Second attempt, I did not, but I never gave up. Third attempt, I never gave up. The fourth attempt, lo and behold, this AI tool analyzed the bank statement, over 82 pages bank statement, line by line, item by item, reclassify them, the ones that are vatable, the ones that are not vatable. And at the end of the day, as against paying over 16 million naira by way of value-added tax, because what the NRS has simply done, we don't expect them, of course, to help us do analysis of our bank statement. They just apply the 7.5% on the total money or total value of money credited to the bank statements. So if the responsibility was on me then to analyze this. And at the end of the day, paid less than 3 million. That is one of the advantages of being a digital accountant or being a system accountant. So we are going to see some practical case study on how to analyze tax-related matters. Together, these three pillars drive revenue assurance, operational excellence, professional relevance, why cybersecurity matters. Cybercrime is now one of the biggest threats to organizations. Examples include phishing, CEO fraud, ransomware, fake invoices, payroll fraud, identity theft, business email compromise. Cybersecurity is everyone's responsibility. Why digital tools matter? Digital tools enable professionals to automate repetitive tasks, analyze millions of transactions, detect fraud faster, improve productivity, support better decisions, enhance compliance. Technology does not replace professionals. Professionals using technology replace those who do not. I've heard over and over people complaining that AI is taking away jobs. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow professional colleagues, AI is not taking away people's job. It is those who have mastered the use of AI that are taking away others' job. And I give you this piece of advice. If you don't want to be disrupted, then be the one causing the disruption. Why smart tax matters? Modern tax administration now relies on artificial intelligence, data analytics, electronic filing, risk-based audits, predictive compliance, and digital taxpayer records. See this, smart tax is equal to better revenue plus better compliance, especially to the tax authority and to you, the taxpayer, as long as you are not practicing tax evasion. It is tax avoidance. That one is legal. If you have the right tools, you can always save some cost. And in accounting, once you save cost, it means your revenue increases. And to the relevant tax authority, with the deployment of right digital tools, they will be able to detect all the tax evasion activities by the taxpayers. I share again another example. 2 years ago, to be precise, in Lagos, Nigeria, and Abuja, Nigeria, we had a training for the directors and managers from Federal Inland Revenue Service. And after taking them to the cloud, we went to the cloud to see how to access VAT report and how to access financial reports in the cloud. So during the times of question and answer, one of the directors stood up and said, "Prof, before coming for this training workshop, I was commissioned, I was assigned to go to Port Harcourt to go and investigate the affairs of a taxpayer because they suspected fraud in the tax liability this particular company paid for that year." And according to him, he said, when I got there, I asked them to show me their report. And the response he got was that their reports are in the cloud. They use cloud-based solution. And it was the first time we wasn't aware. Even if you have heard about cloud, he has not been to the cloud before. So they gave him the information they want him to see. According to him, he was not satisfied. And he said, with this training, bro, as soon as I get back to office, I will talk to my superior officer to give me another authority to go back now that I know what to do. What participants will learn within these 3 days? Participants will gain practical skills in AI application, ChatGPT, which is one of them, revenue assurance, tax analytics, Excel analytics, cybersecurity, fraud detection, intelligent auditing. This is more than a conference. It is a master class. Participants will solve real case studies, use AI tools, analyze financial data sets, detect fraud, simulate cyber attacks, present solutions, learning by doing. It is not only talking the talk, but we are going to do the talk. Our hands will be busy working as our mouth is saying it. Global best practices. This master class aligns with ISO IEC 27001, NIST Cybersecurity Framework, COBIT, OECD Digital Tax Standards, IFAC Digital Competency Framework, Global AI Best Practices. Think globally, solve locally, and we put it humorously this way. The size of the problem you solve affect the size of your income. You may be local, or you may be in a developing nation. The problem you are able to solve can be a solution to nations on the earth. And I say this again humorously. I keep saying this thing. Please listen. Black is not synonymous to lack. It doesn't have to be white for it to be right. What most people thought really come from abroad don't really come from abroad. It comes from above. So once we get connected with divinity and we walk in the purpose of God for our lives, people will not see your sweat and yet will not deny your results.
Yes, sir.
Nigeria opportunities. Nigeria is embracing digital tax administration, artificial intelligence, fintech, that's financial technology, electronic payments, revenue automation, digital identity, cloud technologies. Professionals must evolve with these changes. And I say to our inductees and to our members, change as the time changes and adapt yourself to the environment. Skills for the future. The future professional must possess AI literacy, data analytics, digital leadership, business intelligence, cybersecurity awareness, critical thinking, cloud computing, and ethical judgment. See the success formula. Learn, practice, apply, innovate, and lead. It starts with learning. Ladies and gentlemen, in one of the principles of success, we have this acronym called DCO principle. The D stands for the desire to succeed. I am quite sure that all of us who have made sacrifices to either pay to attend this masterclass or to pay as an associate membership or to pay for the fellowship of this association is driven by one singular motive, desire to succeed. So the D there is the desire to succeed. Then the C in the DCO principle
also gave you
is the capacity to perform. And the O is the opportunities to express the desire to succeed and capacity to perform.
There's a memo that followed the bill.
Challenge to participants.
Yes.
During this master class, ask questions, participate actively,
because
challenge ideas, collaborate, network, practice, think differently, live, transform.
And it spends almost 38,000.
Inspirational quotes. The future rewards professionals who never stop learning. Cybersecurity protects trust. Digital tools create value. Smart taxation builds sustainable economy. Technology is most powerful when combined with integrity, competence, and innovation. ACCSA Global Commitment. We remain committed to global best practices, professional excellence, innovation, capacity development, digital transformation, ethical leadership, lifelong learning. Call to action. Over the next 3 days, we are admonished to learn boldly, think differently, collaborate openly, embrace technology, transform your profession, become a digital leader. I hereby declare ACCSA Global Masterclass on cybersecurity, digital tools, and smart tax officially open. Thank you for listening. ACCSA Global, empowering professionals, securing systems, and maximizing revenue. Thank you for your attention once again.
It's going to come.
You may need to unmute from your end there. I'm not hearing what you are saying there at all. Audio.
All right. I think now.
Loud and clear. Yes.
So very shortly.
Take care of it.
Everybody sharing. Very close. Hello, Prof. Please, you need to make me a co-host so I can share the screen. Thank you so much. Speak less. Okay, this one is. Okay, I should use this, right? What about when my phone? Let's test this. We should test it.
faculty member of the Certified Institute of Business Entrepreneurs, USA, CIB. The Chicago project also working with the high level professional representatives across the globe, focused on projects that serve as an initiative to develop international financial reporting guidance for non-profit organizations. Aside sufficient industry exposure, Mr. Lambert is distinguished in the field of academics and research. He has authored and co-authored over 65 articles in referred local and international journals, and has published 10 books covering issues of interest, among which are reporting, strategic financial management, accounting and management information system, entrepreneurial development, as well as procurement and supply chain management. He is endowed with ability and to successfully formulate and implement strategic initiatives, strong thinking, analytical and problem-solving skills, result-oriented, with a proven ability to stimulate others, high energy and hand-on professional with strong organizational and planning skills, and he is also a competent team player. Professor Lambert is happily married and blessed with children. Ladies and gentlemen, professional colleagues, please, with a warm round of applause, help me welcome Professor Lambert Isaac for his presentation.
It's supposed to be good too from the capture card.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kingsley. Good morning once again, distinguished participants. We return all glory to God. Everything that a man is by the grace and mercies of God. Thank you very much again for keeping faith with us and for joining us in this particular masterclass. So we go straight into the first paper. Like I told you earlier on, this paper is basically to set the tone for all the conversation that we would be having together around our main theme. I'll try not to get too academic with us. I will try to be as practical, practicable possible, so that we can Thank you very much. So our overall theme says cybersecurity, digital tools, and smart tasks. All right. So we're going to be seeing a lot of practical components around, but the particular topic that I will be taking talks about digital transformation of tax administration, global best practices, and the Nigerian experience. As you would imagine, in our own climate currently now, tax seems to be the latest thing everybody's talking about. I recall that in our global summit last year, in this same venue around October, some of us who are regular members remember. One of the presenters we had was Professor Lich Jelilov, the current Vice Chancellor of Philomath University, who has spent virtually all of his life in UK. And he began to enlighten us that what is currently ongoing in the UK, where every single individual needs the help of an accountant, particularly an accountant who is vast around the issue of tax. He said he foresees that gradually happening in Nigeria. And that's because if you look at all the reforms and all the new initiatives around tax, I in person, I strongly align myself with what Professor Bletch told us, and it's only a matter of time. So discussions around tax become very important. So let's see a few things by way of conversation, and much later we will look at some practical components. Now I want to start with a very simple quote by our former executive director of the former FIRS, Federal Inland Revenue Service, which we now know as NRS, and that's Malam Mohammed Nami. Precisely in 2022, he made a profound statement. He said technology remains the cornerstone of our tax administration reforms. So it's one thing to reform, it's another thing to make the reforms smart. In other words, it's another thing to incorporate ICT into our reforms. So that's why it's not unusual that we are having a conversation around smart tax and some of the digital tools that can make it a bit easier for us. So he concluded his statement by saying, this will enable voluntary compliance, transparency, and efficient revenue collection. Now, our current Minister of Finance in Nigeria, who himself is a tax expert, precisely this year in May 2026, also made a profound statement. He said a globally relevant, he mentioned tax, but I knew it was referring to the organization. But the other statement are his, but we just let us know that he was denying around the issues and conversation around digitalization. So he said a globally relevant digital tax system is not one that merely collects tax. Because I can tell you before now, our focus has largely been on collections. Okay, when we get to the main thrust of the conversation, we will look at how we transited from just collection to what we call expanding the net and to where we are today. So, Mr. Taiwo Dele said, good tax don't only focus on collection. Look at the second. There is one that supports competitiveness, very unique, where you see two taxpayers competing in terms of deadline. The tax itself is something that naturally offends people. But when you get to a stage when you see people competing about who pays our own tax first, and you see people boasting about, I paid higher tax than you, you must know that some very good, robust initiatives have gone into that. So it supports competitiveness, encourage this enterprise, protect citizens, attract investment, because a lot of, we're talking about global best practices, a lot of foreign nationals, when they are making their FDI choices, also assess to a large extent the tax regime of the client they want to go into or they choose or decide to go into. Okay, so just to complete this statement, said it attracts investment, strengthens national development as well. Just a moment. All right. All right, so please, we'll just carry on the conversation. Sorry for some of these little technical glitches. It would have been good to follow the conversation around. But let me just continue the presentation so you don't lose too much time. All right, it's
From my side,
now.
from your side.
Yes, from my side. Can we send from here?
No problem.
Okay.
You can send it to that number there.
Just okay. Can you send the
Waalaikum salam. Barka ko? Okay, sir. Lafiya lau? Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. In your 6 months? Okay. Bismillah. Madalla. Mhm.
Morning, how are you? God bless you.
Okay.
I don't know why we demand. There's not a good. Can I unmute his mic? I'm hearing. No, it's just. No, why the effect is breaking. But we offer. Then leveraging compliance cost, enhancing government revenue. This from the government perspective now. So whether as mentioned, revenue is better managed and increased. Then supporting evidence-based fiscal policy. Now, we as accountants, a lot of times we use our revenue and cost as the two key bases that helps us to make our analysis of performance. But tax has become a very, very important component, to also make informed judgments. And then, of course, the end result, usually as always promoting transparency, accountability, public trust in our system as representative of government in the public sector, public trust in our own private sector practices. So that's just basically it. Let's talk a little bit, distinguished participants, about best practices. And for best practices, I want to make a quote of our president.
Not by phone.
Prof?
iPhone, not by phone.
Okay, please, I want to take a pause. We have an iPhone here. Somebody, please, if this is your phone, please, it will be with us here. Just look around in case you have dropped your phone somewhere. Please, I'll remain with this phone so that you can claim it back. All right, best practice. Please let me quote His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And let me say this. See, when it comes to talking economy, as much as possible, we professionals, let's
as much as possible, not be subjective. I'll give us a tone. You see, the last two administrations have emphasized on tax. I may remind us in previous conversation, we have talked about it. So, like him or hate him, like the current president or hate him, like our late president Muhammad Buhari or hate them, those two administrations, if we want to say things in a most objective manner, lay the framework for the sort of robust tax system, tax regimes that we're having now. Now, we can analyze them in different ways, but in terms of the transformation we are seeing in the tax regime, we give it to those two presidents, I can tell you. So, without any form of subjectivity, listen to what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said April this year. He said, no serious nation. And if we put away whatever subjectivity we all have, we'll see that it's making a lot of sense. No serious nation can achieve lasting prosperity on a weak and fragmented revenue system. No government can demand trust from its citizen when taxation is opaque, inefficient, and unjust. All right, so let's talk global best practice. But before we go into global best practice, let me remind us of something. The last two administrations in Nigeria, or rather the last administration and the current one, talked about tax or emphasis and renewed focus on tax for a very simple thing that we as professionals know. You see, in our traditional, normal, old traditional economic reasoning as finance people, we always say, the moment an economy or a country gets to a point where your savings, and you know savings is synonymous with what you receive, is lower than your investment needs, traditionally, we know that you have two broad options. You either borrow or you create a favorable environment for people to bring their money, do business, and thrive. So, yes, please, somebody ask a question.
Yeah, please.
All right. Webmaster, did you hear that request? Webmaster, please, if you heard the request, let's help them. Thank you very much. All right, so look at the point I'm making quickly, just to land on that. So, in Nigeria, successive administration, we discover that, okay, when you see the earlier times, people borrowing, and then government of President Obasanjo came and did a lot in terms of reducing our borrowing. Look, those who were borrowing were not really making error. They were following simple economic, orientation. But again, let's now be blunt with ourselves, because as much as we want to talk economics, talk finance, in a manner that is not subjective, we also have to be realized. We also have to, be realistic. Borrowing did not really hit the target. We know as professionals, you don't borrow to eat. You don't borrow to pay salaries. You borrow for productive activities. So borrowing failed. And then the second option had to be tilted. So at some point, during the government of President Goodluck Jonathan, there was renewed emphasis. It cascaded a bit into our late President President Yar'Adwa's time. Of course, at the early stage of President Buhari, we started talking FDI, raising ease of doing business and the rest of them. I recall that the former Vice President Osinbajo was given that task. So you see, just following economic trajectory, borrowing, in quote, failed. And so FDI. And then there was a renewed emphasis in trying to create the basis. You could see some form of reforms and some form of cutbacks in terms of incentives to drive foreign investment. A few efforts were made, but again, all of a sudden, insecurity, very terrible thing, reared its ugly head. And then it began to challenge FDI. Let me tell you the truth. Even in economics, and please check your basic economics, when those two fail, your last option is to go the route of tax. So when you see successive governments now, at least the last two, emphasizing on that, they don't have a choice. I know tax is not something we like to talk about. Okay, it's good that we're exploring the new reforms. It's a bit early to start making too much analysis on what we see, because we need some, by analysis, we need minimum of 5 years to see how successful it will be. But maybe, probably, the little we have seen so far, we envisage it will work. So, but I'm saying that we need to go the route of tax as a country. So when you see tax, and more emphasis on tax, the government in themselves don't have a choice. Of course, I know our peculiarities are there. The tax collections, are they being used for the proper thing? We all can answer those questions. But I'm saying that governments over time had no choice than to go the route of tax. Now, the best thing is to juxtapose our situation with global best practices. Look at what we can see. And please, these are public information you can cross-check. As at last year, and I also check OECD report early this year. So this is as at early this year. Maybe something will change maybe over the last few months. The best 5 countries, globally speaking, in terms of tax administration are these 5 countries you can see. Top on the list globally, the entire world, is Estonia. What did Estonia do? They are the world leading digital government with there is no iota of manual activity in their tax system. Okay? Fully integrated, e-governance, digital identity. So everybody has a digital footprint. As soon as you are somebody who can be assessed to tax individually, corporately, as an entity, you must have a digital footprint in Estonia. And everything is real time. Real time means if you assess, everything hits the final bottom line, whatever it is you are doing. Okay, and highly automated tax administration. So if we are looking to be good or to improve, I think we can benchmark against the best. The second is Singapore. No, and I can tell you, distinguished participant, Singapore is doing quite well. Under the auspices of CIB, a sister body to this, I had the privilege of being in Singapore last year. I mean, you need to only physically be in Singapore to actually experience it. Singapore, in terms of transparency threshold, now I'm not sure if I'm getting my statistics, but I know they're among the first. They are not the first, but they are between 2 to 5. I just needed to check 1 or 2 records. Singapore, as of today, in terms of transparency, when you have a Singaporean passport, you can travel to several countries of the world. When you're physically there, you experience the level of transparency. These things didn't come cheap. They came by deliberate policies. So what is Singapore doing? They have an AI-enabled tax administration. My tax portal, that's the name they call their own. They have a lot of robust cloud-based solutions that they utilize and advanced taxpayer, digital services. Of course, the UK. I want to ask us, most of us are familiar with UK. Popular UK. Which natural resource does UK have? Which natural resource? See, and sometimes we even forget, I discover, we forget that UK currency is even stronger than the dollar. A lot of that will become so fixated with the dollar. Okay? How did they achieve this? Tax collection, smart tax. Very straightforward. I can also tell you 1 or 2 because I also had the privilege of, I think it was 2 years ago, physically there. Each time I have a opportunity of being in this place, just assess a few things they do. Even to get water, bottled water, they'll tell I was staying, bottled water. And I had a little pounds on me. They refused. You must either use a card or you use a digital payment system. Dr. Jima will give us more gist. I know she was there a few weeks ago. Dr. Jima, I'm sure you can get what I'm saying. Okay? All right. HCSA Global was also in, what's it called? UK. And I know one of our participants, one of our regulars, Dr. Jima, was physically there. Prof was also there. So we're saying, what are they doing right? Making tax digital. They have a program called MTD. I mean, see, don't let me belabor the point. The point has been made. A lot of them are succeeding because of digitalization. Australia is following closely on number 4. Single touch payroll system. They have a particular robust system they call MyGov integration. And they also practice what is called advanced analytics by the Australian Tax Office. And then the 5th on the list is South Korea. I'm hoping that one of these days, through the effort of distinguished professionals, Nigeria will be among the first 5. All right. So, but South Korea itself also have a nationwide good digital tax system. So those are the 5. Now, what did they do to succeed? What are the common features we see in them? Let's look at 10. Very straightforward. Number 1, electronic tax filing system. Simple. So we must consciously work towards that. Those of us who are in NRS, please help us. Let's promote the agenda. Those of us who are professional, let's promote the agenda. Some of us have the constitutional authority. We are principal officers in our different agencies. Let's promote that. We don't have a choice than to go the route of our e-concept, the electronic route. Then, digital tax payer identification. You see, one of the challenges I have with our Nigerian system is that we have too many fragmented things. If I ask a question, please, who is that one agency that manages our identity in Nigeria? I'm sure the first question may be NIMSI. But is NIMSI truly? Because road safety has our records. Banks have our records. Those of us with passport, international passport, that means immigration have. So who is our identity management? Can't everything be integrated? How about something that will integrate whatever the banks have, whatever road safety, FRSC have, something like that. So, and when we say, when everything is integrated into one common system, that's what we call digital footprint. And it's very easy. And a lot of things we're struggling with, identifying terrorists and all of those things will naturally be solved. Okay, even managing fraud and a lot of things that we say. Okay, so digital tax pay identification. Number 3, electronic invoicing. So our day-to-day activity, electronic online tax payment system. We're glad that you can sit in your office and begin the process of your interaction with the regulatory tax authorities. Integrated tax management system. That's what this global best practice we observe. That's what they are doing. Of course, artificial intelligence is new, but don't forget what I said earlier. Not just mere artificial intelligence, but digital intelligence. Please, if you don't mind, distinguished participants, please, if you don't mind, can you please repeat after me? Say digital intelligence. Please, if you leave this master class, you forget anything, and I'm sure you will not forget it. Don't forget that word. Don't forget. That means we are now a step ahead. See, professionals that don't want to be disrupted, practice digital intelligence. Let AI give you everything it wants to give you, but then we now apply a filtering using not a subjective thing, but our expertise and experience now to filter whatever AI. That will take us to the realm of digital intelligence. But if we remain on only one AI, then we're only working with artificial intelligence. It will remain artificial. Okay? All right. So let's talk about real-time reporting. Look at what the banks are doing for us. The banks are one of the agency sectors where we get real-time activities. If there's something, we want to practice something, if I deposit money now, somebody can be in another place and withdraw it immediately. That's real time. Real time can happen in all our activities. So, and that's what some of the countries with good practices are doing to achieve the results. Okay, automated tax assessment, self-service tax payers portals, very important. Self-service. You can sit in the comfort of your office, transact, visit any corner of the world, do everything you want to do, and then conclude. And then, please, the 10th one is very important for us as professionals. The digital space is a dangerous space. So there must always be strong and robust cybersecurity and data protection framework. Let's look very closely, just a little bit, because by my timing, I think I have about just 15, 20 more minutes maximum. Okay, Nigeria digital tax journey. So we were grateful. The truth is that the digital journey for tax reforms in Nigeria started at the early days of our late President Muhammad Buhari. I'm sure you remember the Finance Act, how it was passed around COVID period, quickly sent back to National Assembly and amended. So those were the period where some of the reforms that cascaded into what we are witnessing today started. So, and emphasis on a number of things, led by our NRS, which of course we formerly call Federal Inland Revenue Service, complemented of course by our state revenue services. We have introduced several digital initiatives as a country, which are very good for us. Very good, on the right path, actually. Right path. Okay, we talk about the integrated tax system now, ITAS, Tax Pro Max. I know there's still some teething problems around it, but at least it's the way to go. Okay, okay, it's no longer existing, right? All right. So it's Rev 360. Sorry, yes, I ought to have corrected that. We're right, but I know that recently it had some little issues around there, which of course is an ongoing thing. Please, I beg your pardon, Rev 360. Yes. Our e-team, they are all part of the processes. Registration, online tax clearance, and the rest of them. Okay, so we're not doing too badly. The reforms are significantly reducing manual processes and also helping us to make the right progress. Challenges, still persist. We're not going to pretend about that. Okay, literacy gap. Infrastructure is still an issue. Internet, even very strong broadbands and the rest of them, they are still there. But Nigeria continues to strengthen the digital ecosystem. That's what is important. And it's affecting positively our financial landscape. So the reforms, very beautiful. So the major ones, the first one is not Tax Pro Max, I beg your pardon, it's Rev 360. And I know that some of our professionals here who are in the core of NRS can also further enlighten us, further about that. But we're grateful that at least we have something in that light. We have the ITAS, the e-team, and the rest of them, electronic tax filing, and the integration with banks that enables us to have an electronic payment system. So what are we beginning to see? We are not there yet. But you see, in terms of our analytics, it shows that if we continue on this trajectory, we are almost certain that we will have these outcomes: improved tax compliance, increased revenue generation, reduction in the evasion and leakages, transparency and accountability, and then faster and more service delivery. So the turnaround time is cut, into, lower turnaround time, greater taxpayer convenience as against what used to be the practice, carry files up and down, and then there's back and forth with the taxman, improved taxpayers database management. Okay, so the NRS itself will become one of the people that can generate very strong, solid data, since everybody, one way or the other, has to pay tax anyway, whether individuals by way of our payee and the rest of our normal corporate tax payments. Then lower administrative and compliance costs. Naturally, ICT enables this. Anything you digitalize, you are likely to get a lower cost. Yes, maybe a one-off cost by way of the initial investment. But you know how we do as accountants. That initial investment, we can even amortize against the benefits. That's the way we do it in today's world. So it's not to say, I spent 1 million something. No, if you are getting non-financial benefits, you can amortize. That's our new thinking, even in finance. Okay? But either way, it's an advantage, even if we have a one-off cost. But if there are benefits that has some form of multiplier effects, then, it is still good to incur that one-off cost and then eventually lower our costs. Of course, lower administrative and compliance costs, better data-driven decision-making. I recall very well. In fact, by some design, I was in the office that particular day, and I was fixated on the TV. I remember when the new NRS headquarters was being unveiled. I watched that program. I think it was for about 2 or 3 hours. For some reason, I was in the office that day, even though busy, but I was just watching, especially when the executive chairman came, and was making his presentation. I recall he was giving out statistics. I remember for almost 1 hour. Okay. Those things are enabled when you have proper automation and then data are properly generated. And then strengthening fiscal governance and ease of doing business that we still need so badly. Even though earlier on, I'd said it that the two options of borrowing and FDI is what economics teaches us. But it doesn't mean even when we're going the route of tax, we abandon those two. So if we have a robust tax system that is helping our FDI, limiting our borrowing, then it's an advantage. What are the challenges? Let's be very clear. There are challenges, and we're not going to pretend about it. About 10 of them we can highlight. Inadequate ICT infrastructure, even though the government is doing a lot, the government is trying. I was particularly impressed when I saw a beautiful, befitting building given to our NRS now. Let's be very clear. In the future, NRS is going to be one of our strong revenue earner in Nigeria. I mean, as an agency, they will be one of the people that will collect for us, rightly so. So, infrastructure, and I know that if in the NRS office there's adequate facility, I mean, why not? It has a multiplier effect of helping the digital tax administration we have so elaborately been emphasizing. So, inadequate ICT infrastructure, cybersecurity threats, they are real. They are real. The American government was hacked into very recently, okay, as sophisticated as they are. Okay, so the cyberspace is a dangerous space. So we still have that threat or those threats. Low digital literacy. I know that NITSDA is doing a lot, but frankly, if you're in the education system like some of us, you discover that digital literacy, with all the open eye and all the whatever, all the Gen Z thing, it's still, the threshold is still quite low. There's still a huge gap in terms of not just computer literacy, but we're seeing digital literacy itself. Large informal economy. Okay. Now, taxpayers, that is a huge issue for them. Our economy, economy is still largely informal. But you see, as much as the robust system, the ICT systems are in place, it can help to bring everybody to that formal space. Okay, especially that everybody now can have an account. You don't have to go to a bank. So, working through proper integration with all the financial institutions, everybody can be moved from the informal economy and brought to the formal space. Fragmented taxpayer database. Okay, states are doing their own, local government are doing their own, federal, but I know there's a lot of interface going on, and we just need to keep improving. And these challenges, resistance to change, very, very important. Huge resistance to change, and I know it's everywhere, cutting across every sector. But I know as professionals, especially with our affiliation with ACCSA Global, we shouldn't be resistant, and we will not. Limited institutional capacity. Okay, let's be clear. There's only so much too that the NRS can do. If other people do their work properly, it makes the work a bit more easier for NRS and other regulatory bodies. High cost of digital, transformation. Again, let's be very blunt. Good ICT tools are not cheap. Good ICT solutions are not cheap. They don't come cheap. The only luck we have is if the feasibilities are done properly and you can get huge multiplier effects over a long period, then we can consider them in quote cheap in the long run. But the one-off costs sometimes can really be high. Regulatory and legal gaps. I know that the current tax law we have has closed a lot of gaps. I know people have identified, a few more gaps here and there, but it's good that to a large extent, but a few still exist. And then data quality itself is a real issue and integration. So these are some of the challenges. But if we continue on the trajectory that we have, I'm sure we can do it. What are the lessons for Nigeria? In terms of these global best practices. It's one thing to mention global best practices. It's another thing for us to be able to draw very good lessons from them. Now, let me highlight a few. We must accelerate the adoption of digitalization, AI, and all the tools. We must accelerate. We are doing so, but I think it needs to be at a faster pace. That's the truth. So, I know that one of the things also affecting at the governance level, I'm talking about public governance level, is this resistance to change. To me, I don't see, my personal opinion, I may be wrong, I've still not seen enough robust advocacy. We must give everybody stronger reasons to have a buy-in. Yes, some of us who are enlightened, some of us who are fairly educated, we understand this thing. But if you go to the grassroots, somebody will tell you, I've not even eaten, I've not eaten enough. You are talking about all these paying tax, competency, and the rest of them. So there must be strong advocacy. But whatever happens, if we must catch up with the best practices and practice smart tax, then we must accelerate ICT adoption. The second one there, implementing a nationwide electronic invoicing system. The current systems we have are still largely fragmented, but something that will integrate the entire country together, I think will do us a lot of good. Then there must be the development of an integrated national taxpayer database. Okay, I alluded to that earlier on. I think for the purposes of identity management, generally, not for tax alone, that we can have a component that focuses on tax. There needs to be an integrated central database. When we hear about some of our other countries, the established clients, you hear that in America, they're doing well, UK and the rest. They don't have there's no special magic, no two heads, but very strong database management, very strong identity management systems. Yes, they may still be challenging, but it's very easy. I remember somebody was traveling to UK. He has not been to UK for a long time. In fact, I think the last time I was in UK was in the 60s or 70s. I can't remember the story clearly. And he went to UK recently. Just one simple desk officer, trying to do immigration clearance, gave him the date, the last time he came to UK, the date, the time, the hour, and everything. Wow. That shows centrally integrated identity management. So, it's difficult to just commit any offense. That's for a foreigner. If something like that, such database can exist for a simple immigration desk officer who is just trying to do immigration clearance for somebody. I don't know what discussion led to that. But for someone to be able to easily assess that, as coming from the angle of a regulatory authority, that's a very strong, a positive, I believe. So something of that nature, something that will be unique, strong, well protected as well. But look at the top one there. Investment in robust cybersecurity infrastructure. The digital space is a dangerous space, so it must be well protected. Expand digital infrastructure and internet access. Can take that for granted. Nigeria will generate everything. Generate our own internet, our own data, our own water, our own everything. Those things must change. Promoting. All right, I think, let me go back. I think I've missed a particular slide. Yes, okay, no, I'm on track. So expand infrastructure and internet access. The sixth one there, promoting continuous taxpayer education and digital literacy. Advocacy must continue. I know we've done a lot, but there needs to be stronger advocacy, stronger. The kind of advocacy that is not just mere rhetorics, but that will actually convince people to buy into all of these beautiful and robust developments let's take the eighth one. The eighth one there talks about leveraging big data and predictive analysis. You see, one of the natural consequences of intelligent digitalization is that you have what we call data analytics. What does that mean? You just have your data. After a while, your data begins to speak to you. Your data begins to tell your data. What it means is that by the time you begin to use tools, the tool itself begins to tell you your past data can help you now predict based on the patterns what you can do in the next 10 years, what you should do, what you should not do, steps you should take, what should help you reinforce your politics. So all of those things put together is what we call data analytics. So leveraging tools, particularly in the area of practicing smart tax, can give that kind of benefit, help with that lesson. So we talk about data analytics there. My time is up now, so let me round up. Modernize legal and regulatory framework. So you can see it started by the government focusing on knowing that there's a need to go the route of tax in Nigeria. Going the route of tax has led us now to developing new tax framework. Now, some of them are having some strong legal consequences and can only continue like that. So there's something about this digitalization that leads you to very strong legal regulatory framework as well. And then one thing I've not seen still being done in Nigeria is that there must be what we call taxpayer-centric approach. Our approach in Nigeria is still a government regulatory-centric approach. It's not about government. It should be about what the taxpayer wants. So systems should be designed by the object that will be assessed to tax, not from the regulatory authority. And that's one of the slight difference between practices generally in Africa and some of the established clients. You see some of these developed countries, they have a citizen-centric approach to issues. Citizen-centric approach to policemen. That's why, for example, in some countries, one good example is Turkey. Turkish policemen hardly wear uniform anymore. They're in their t-shirts. Of course, they have one or two things for you to identify that they are still policemen. But they wear trainers, move around. You know what? They are practicing a police system that is citizen-centric. But it's different from what we do in Africa. Average policeman, I mean, with due respect to all our policemen who may be here, wants you to know I'm a policeman. A military officer wants you to know I'm a general. Those kind of things are going for life. Well, we are moving to a new order. Okay, so you can see now, I just gave that as an example. A lot of things we do in Nigeria is government-centric, leadership-centric, even in our offices. As a boss, don't be a boss-centric. Don't impose that I'm a boss. It's okay. See, let's be blunt. Whether you are the boss or not, listen, let's be blunt about something. Whether you're a boss or not, or rather, let me put it this way. Whether you tell a subordinate that you're a boss or not, you are a boss. How about a followership-centric approach? Okay, I agree with you. It's not in all cases it works. I agree with you. It's not common. But look, let's be clear. Let's borrow from best practices. I use that policing system. Maybe it may not work in Nigeria, maybe it may work. But I'm telling you that Turkey is able to, well, I'm not sure whether the statistics is right, but I imagine that one of the reasons why they changed their policing approach to a citizen-centric approach, probably they've done the analysis and it might help them reduce crime further. Maybe. So what we're just saying is that, look, let's come back so that we don't deviate too much. Our tax system, tax regimes, tax management policies is too, in my own, this is a personal opinion now. And I think I've read one or two opinions, expert opinion who agree with that. It's too government-centric. How about flipping it the other way to have a citizen-centric approach? That's just the point we made there. All right, let me round up now, distinguished participant. Benefits. Oh, we have alluded to so many of them. I won't waste time on this because I want to round up in about 5 minutes maximum. So increased tax revenue, we have talked about that. We're talking about benefit of everything now. Smart tax, digitalization, having robust frameworks, utilizing the right tools, and the rest of them. So these are some of the things now. Increased tax revenue, higher tax compliance, reduction in the evasion that we so frown at, especially from regulatory perspective, enhanced transparency. Naturally, when you introduce ICT into anything, you are likely to get higher transparency and accountability because the systems are open for everyone. Lower administrative cost, we alluded to that earlier on. Improve operational efficiency, better decision-making. Data will be available everywhere. You can analyze it and make more informed judgment. Then it also helps to expand the tax base. Because you see, when ICT is entrenched, even those who are not captured in the formal sector, who are still in the informal sector, can one way or the other be brought into the formal sector, and then they can be a much more solid integration. Okay, more effective risk management and improve revenue forecast. Okay, enhanced interagency. By the way, let me say all the materials we will use in this masterclass, they are part of our total package. Everything will be sent. Everything, total, every single thing. All right, so enhanced interagency collaboration. So you can see now, our agencies are working together a lot more now. Okay, strengthen public trust. You know, there's one big problem that has been existing in tax, and I'm sure our tax professionals here, we agree with me. You know, there's been one dilemma since the issue of tax in even the old age. Nobody's sure whether you should provide incentive and infrastructure first. Let people enjoy it, then you go and tax them. Or you tax them first and use the money. And that's why there's a serious distrust in tax conversations. But you see, we will not be having this conversation if our tax systems are smarter than what they are. Okay, so public trust, good governance, greater capacity to monitor, faster audit and investigation. Even for you, the NRS officials, the work becomes a lot more easier. And then support overall for national economy. Now, you see, what I just said as capture, but for both tax and taxpayers and tax authorities, I don't want to distinguish because I want to round up. But I carefully differentiated between benefit of digital tax administration to taxpayers. Okay, some of them are there. Convenient, simplified, fast tax filing, faster one, reduced time saving, you know, and the rest of them. Greater transparency, improve. In my conversation earlier on, I've alluded to so many of them. Please don't let me waste your time with that one. Voluntary compliance. You know, when voluntary compliance was initially introduced, it was slow, but you can see some element of improvement in it now. Okay, so as our tax systems become smarter, we're likely to also drive better voluntary compliance. Reduce fiscal visits. We don't have to go and start disturbing at our beautiful NRS headquarters or the state offices. People reduce when there are better options. Real-time updates, better business environment. So you can see our ecosystem in terms of doing business is also improving. Okay, so let me put it like this now. What are the key takeaways? Because I want to round up. After these key takeaways, I'll take the conclusion. So as professionals seated here, in just about 1 hour, I mean, we've not exhausted the old options, but we just had a small conversation around smart tax. So we now precisely, ACCSA Global Professional, what are we taking away? Let's look at 8 things. 1, whether we're in the public sector, private sector, owners of business, professional, as long as we're professionals, under the auspices of ACCSA Global, we must embrace digital competence as a core of our professional skills. So whether in our normal financial reporting or we are core areas adding value to tax, we must embrace it fully. Number 2, then champion ethical digital tax compliance. So we must be ethical about our digital compliance and then prioritize cybersecurity and data protection. Leverage data for strategic decision making. So our decision making should be far much more improved, okay, as we leverage the right data, support digital transformation, promote continuous professional development. Wherever the opportunity arises, we go for it, we promote and enhance our skills. And then we highlighted some global best practices that made Estonia, for example, to be one of the best tax collecting country in the world, that made UK, that doesn't have any natural resource, to be able to still have one of the strongest currencies in the world, even stronger than the globally acceptable currency, you know, dollar. And then lead the future of smart and digital tax compliance. In conclusion, distinguished participants, the digital transformation of tax administration is no longer an option, but a strategic necessity for building efficiency, transparency, and resilient tax system in our digitalized economy. As global best practices demonstrates, the successful integration of digital tools data-driven technologies, and robust security measures,
Ana program.
enhances tax compliance,
A meeting
curbs
namu nene
fraud,
sunuzum tura
improves
muni
taxpayers'
documents
experience,
na Zoom.
and strengthens government's
Ina
revenue
ji masu bacci
mobilization.
na sai
So, for Nigeria, sustaining ongoing digital
ana
reforms
nuna abubuwan da
while
ana yi mana
investing in
dashboard
secure
ne.
digital infrastructure,
A
regulatory
dashboard.
innovation, intelligence collaboration, and taxpayer digital literacy will be
In
critical
kana wurin ne zaka gani live.
realizing
Wanda ba ma
a
wurin ba shi
truly
dai ka gani.
smart tax ecosystem,
Kamar
even for
madal
us.
da yana yawo wurin kenan kana jin
So my final thought is this. When we align technologies with sound governance and cybersecurity, Nigeria, and I dare say we as individual professionals, even in our own little space, little corner where we are practicing our expertise, can create a future-ready tax administration that promotes voluntary compliance, supports sustainable economic growth, and reinforces public confidence in the nation's fiscal system. Distinguished participants, thank you very much for your rapt attention, and thank you for listening. All right. So what I'm going to do is that I know that our erudite prof, Professor Paul, has been on standby. So I'm going to quickly bring him on board. Is Webmaster close by? Webmaster, oh, sorry. Webmaster, please, can you let me speak to Prof? Because of our time, I exceeded, I think, by 5 minutes. Let me call off Prof's citation. I want to bring Prof quickly. Prof's own will come with some form of practical demonstration as well. Thank you very much, distinguished participants. We go into the next presentation. Hello, Prof. We're ready for you.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Okay. So, Prof is on standby. Please,
please, let's give a round of applause for our African rep who have just delivered an insightful paper to set the page for the others to follow. Let's appreciate him, both participants online and in class there in Nigeria. Let's appreciate our African rep. It's a clap of her.
Thank you very much. Prof, we want to take your citation before you continue.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
Yes, go ahead.
So, distinguished participants, coming up next is our Global Representative Training Director. Like I did mention earlier on, is bringing us this presentation from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, United States. So we'd like to take his profile and citation very quickly. All right. So, Professor Webmaster, can we have this on the screen? I would like the participants to see. I would like them to see the citation while we are taking it. Okay, I've opened it. Where do you have it? It's so seated. So, Prof, just a moment. We are bringing out the citation so they can see it. Okay. All right. So, distinguished participants, before we take the second paper, which is Artificial Intelligence, Data Analytics, and Smart Tax, the Future of Tax, Compliance, and Revenue Assurance. To bring us this particular paper is Professor Adebayo Paul Adejola. Please permit me. So he's the training director at CSA Global. Born in Gusau, Zamfara State, Professor Paul Adejola is a distinguished academic and professional with multidisciplinary expertise spanning accounting, business finance, forensics, and information technology. He holds visiting professorship at both Annan University Quad and Nasra State University Kefi in Nigeria. He has been pivotal in shaping the academic and professional landscape in these fields through his extensive research, teaching, and consultancy work. In terms of professional qualifications and fellowship, he belongs to this following body. Professor Adejola is a highly regarded fellow of several esteemed academic and professional bodies, including the AAA, American Accounting Association, the Association of Chartered Certified System Accountants, the Certified Institute of Business Entrepreneurs, Association of Forensic and Investigative Auditors, Canada, Association of National Accountants of Nigeria, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ICANN, the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, CITN, and the Institute of Chartered Economists of Nigeria. Professor Adejola holds 3 PhDs from Nigeria, United Kingdom, Turks and Caicos Island in both business administration, finance and accounting, as well as forensic accounting and audit respectively. He has also earned a professional doctorate degree in economics. He's a prolific author who has published over 30 books and more than 75 articles in peer-reviewed local and international journals. His contributions to knowledge extend to developing over 130 training packages designed to empower both accountants and non-accountants across Asia, Africa, and the United States of America, as well as Europe. Professor Adejola has also supervised the dissertation of over 70 postgraduate students, both within Nigeria and internationally, underscoring his commitment to academic mentoring and development. Professor Adejola is renowned for his ability to formulate and implement strategic initiatives effectively. He has strong quantitative, analytical, and problem-solving skills, coupled with high energy and hands-on approach, which makes him a valuable asset in any team setting. He's recognized for his strong organizational and planning capabilities, which complements his role as a competent team player. In terms of award, he has received numerous awards like the ICANN Prize for Best All-Round Graduating Student in Accounting, Coopers and Librand Prize for Best Graduate Student in Auditing and Investigation, Bank of the North Limited Prize for Top Graduate, Olubi Obandi and Chu Prize for Best Graduating Student in Taxation. He has also been honored as the Honorary Mayor President of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, United States, and is listed in the prestigious Who is Who in America, as well as among top educators in the United States in the 2023-2024 award category. Professor Adejola has held key academic positions, including former head, Department of Accounting at Nasarawa State University, Kefi, director of the Gafar Center in Kefi, Nasarawa State University. He was a former head of department at Bingham University, Karu. He was also an accountant at Nigerian Law School, Wari, Nigeria, one-time head, Internal Control Unit of UBA PLC. His consultancy work and collaboration spans various institutions, government bodies such as Southern University, Louisiana, United States, BISAF Solutions in United Kingdom, Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPCL, Kaduna State Government, the Nigerian Army, and Certified Institute of Business Entrepreneurs, USA. In terms of leadership roles and global impact, currently Professor Adejola chairs the International Relations and Digital Operations Committee of ANA. He also serves as the training director for CIB USA and ACCSA Global. A sought-after speaker and resource person, Professor Adejola regularly presents at international conferences worldwide. In the year 2022-2023, he was given this prestigious award. It was celebrated in our circle. You know, in America, America has an award called Who is Who in America, you know, in terms of, impact, education, digital, literacy, and all of that. He was given this award. And then was also listed in the year 2023 as one of the top educators, by this board in the United States. The distinguished participants, please help me make welcome with a round of applause, Professor Adejola. Over to you, Prof.
Thank you, Associate Professor Lambert Isaac, for that singular honor for taking the profile. We return all the glory to God. And as is usual saying, I hope you can hear me loud and clear.
Yes, no, fix that for the control room. If you just give us a minute, Prof.
It's from his
Okay. All right.
Prof, if you just give us 1 minute, please.
No problem, no problem.
From the control room.
All right. No problem.
Our online participants, thank you very much. We are seeing all your chats. Thank you so much. When it's time for presentation, we will also, recognition and introduction, we'll recognize you as well. Prof, please, can you go ahead and speak? Let's see if it's been fixed now.
Can you hear me better now?
Still not yet. Yes.
That's from the hall.
Yes, yeah, from the control room. We can see you very clearly, but we need the volume to be up. Please go ahead and speak, Prof.
Can you hear me now?
Not
okay?
very, it needs to be louder. It's getting better, but it needs to be louder. Tetima. Yes. You must again.
You okay now?
It's still low at all. We can hear you actually, Prof, but we need it to be louder.
To be louder, okay.
Yeah,
There's no problem.
The hall is filled.
There's no problem. We can have some few minutes. Yeah, I can see the online people can hear very well.
What must
see the message from online that they can hear me loud and clear.
Yes.
Oh, let's go down for those.
Yes, it's just to amplify it into the hall. It is just to amplify it into the hall, Prof.
There's no problem.
Prof, can you speak now? Let's see.
All right. Is everything okay and better now?
Okay. Prof, please go ahead and speak.
Is everything okay and better now?
Where is the speaker?
Let me meet them. They need to show us the screen.
The speakers, I'm even looking of where the speaker could be.
Prof, please, can you speak?
Can you hear better now?
Okay, the speaker is here.
Let's face that. Prof, please speak.
Can you hear better?
Just manageable. It's low. Please, Prof, because of the importance of this your session, please, if you don't mind, just stay with us.
No, I'm not in the audio. I'm not in the audio.
Okay.
Just fix it. Well, I'm not in the audio. Can give another 5 minutes. Let's fix it.
Oh, okay, great. So it's been fixed.
Very well.
So we'll take an interlude. We are not leaving the hall. We'll continue the introduction, which is part of our proceeding. And I know in the next 5 or so minutes, we should be able to overcome this little glitch. Thank you very much. So, distinguished participants, please, we'll continue the introduction. Please, you are the next. You just unmute your mic. Tell us, for those who are just coming, you tell us your full name. Just introduce yourself and at least one interesting thing. Probably what you do, where you work, and one interesting thing about yourself. Thank you very much. Please go ahead.
Good morning.
You can sit. Yes.
Good morning, colleagues.
Good morning.
I'm by name Usman Abubakar. I'm from National Assembly. And other things I do is that I'm a farmer.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you very much. We're glad to have you. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right. It's all right. We're glad to have you. Thank you very much for joining us.
Morning, distinguished participants and fellow colleagues. My name is Dr. Chima Abiola. I work with Nigeria Security Civil Defense for Air and Health Insurance. I'm a fellow of ICFIP, International Institute of Certified Forensic Investigation Professional, USA, a fellow of ECCSC Global, a fellow of ANAN, a member of ICANN, and
All right, thank you. Please, can we give our team a round of applause? Yeah. Dr. Chima is actually a veteran here. I mean, she hardly misses any of the programs. I can tell you for free, though I didn't take her permission, just about 2 weeks ago, ACSA Global was in the UK, and I know she was one of the participants. Thank you very much. Good to see you, Doctor. Oh, it was there as well. All right. Sorry, I did pick the face as well. Thank you so much. All right, we're glad to have you. Please, if you can just put off your mic, and we'll take the next participant. Yes, please.
I am work with the Nigerian Revenue Service. Presently, I am the tax controller of the Macaulay
Office.
I am a fellow of CITN. I am associate member of ANAN, and by the special grace of God, I am glad to be adopted as fellow of ACCN. I am good at knowing innovative, getting to know new things.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. Glad to have you. Over the last 3 programs we've had, we always say, if you know anybody in NRS, please make them your friend. Don't forget, everybody will need a tax expert very soon. So we're glad to have you. Please consider me your friend from henceforth. All right, so let's have you, please. Good morning.
Take the fortune from Delta State. I work with the Auditor General's Office, local government. I love new things, new knowledge for me.
All right. Thank you very much. Please, can you unmute your mic? We're glad to have you. Thank you. When we take the entire road, then we clap for them at once. Thank you very much. This.
My name is Mr. Sobondo, the Director Accountant. Minister for Government Services. Makodi. A member of ANA and my area of
All right. Please, you can conclude. All right. You can conclude. Yes.
I'm what can it trust you about my digital intelligence program.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you very much. We're glad to have you. Please, just a moment. Go ahead. Let Prof talk. All right. Hello, Prof. Please, can you talk now?
Can you hear me better now?
Yes, we can hear you better now.
Loud and clear.
Yes. All right. So, participants, we will hold on with the introduction and continue with Prof, please. Prof, please, over to you.
All right. Give me a moment.
Okay. Please, while we're giving Prof a moment, don't forget we found the phone. Please, if it's yours, you can see me claim it.
All right. Can we hear loud and clear? Can you hear me loud and clear, right?
Loud and clear, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, distinguished professionals and participants across the globe joining this July edition of the Masterclass in Cybersecurity, Digital Tools, and Smart Tasks, organized by ACCSA Global. I want to welcome us again to this session of the presentation. An accountant has been trained and wired as a multifaceted professional that is expected to fit into any sector of the economy. And put in another way, when you give excuses, you are excused out of what is meant to be an addition to us. One popular saying is this, that the illiterate of the 21st century is not one who cannot read or write, but one who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. And the largest room on earth is the room for improvement. Humbly, I've submitted always. There is no nation that is an island of itself. You will never see one professional, one single individual that will say, I know it all. No, learning is a continuous process. So we are welcome once again to this avenue created to add value to us so that we'll be able to stand tall among our peers, not only in Nigeria, but anywhere in the world. By divine grace and election, after catching this vision about empowering professionals with digital tools, digital skills required to fit into the economy and the situation we have found ourselves. I will put it this way, professional colleagues, it is working. I've never known anything called being stranded. And with God, with us, we will always know what to do. We have had also several testimonies from those who have participated in similar training in the time past. Now, before that Friday that we are going to see upcoming event, I will want to share with us that every knowledge gathered here, every skills acquired, don't just go and keep them after this meeting. Apply them, because knowledge that is applied is what is called wisdom. And it is wisdom that is profitable to direct. I've had cases here in the United States that Africans, I don't want to say Nigeria now, Africans go for interview. And when they get to that interview, they don't bother them about how much certificates they have gathered. And I put it this way, it is not about certificate. It is more of certificate. Can you hear that? Certificate is different from certificate. So when you have the certificate, you still need to prove that you have the skills to match up those certificates. And that's why today you go to some of these organizations, including the Fortune companies, including all these multinational companies. They are after skills acquisition. And that is one of the reasons the certificate you will be given today, or given on Friday, on completion of this masterclass, very, very important. And we have next month another certification course. I've seen people call me also here in the US, some Canada, some Australia. Prof, do you know about any certification course I can take in artificial intelligence or in data analytics or in digital tools? Professional colleagues and our inductees, I will want to submit humbly here that this is a one bus stop, ACTSA Global. We equip members, we equip participants with the digital tools they require, not only to put food on your table, in addition to the one that you have, not only to have money to your bank account, but also to prepare you for the future. Retirement is sure. They're retired and not tired. So that when others are saying there is a casting down, I don't know what to do, you will always have results, something to do. I'll be sharing with us in the next couple of minutes the paper title to check your program of events there, Artificial Intelligence, Data Analytics, Smart Tax System, the future of tax compliance and revenue assurance. Before I share my slide, if somebody asks us or they ask me to define AI as simple as possible, all I will just tell them is AI is a machine mimicking human intelligence so that tasks that are before now performed by human beings are now performed by machine. Somebody is saying no sound. Online people, no sound. Online, please confirm. Is it just one person is saying no sound or all the people online? Let's be sure. Just in a message. Everyone. This is serious. Okay, we can hear you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for confirming that. Please, the person that is not hearing online, check your gadgets and do the right thing. So I've just defined artificial intelligence in a simple sentence, a machine mimicking human intelligence so that tasks that are before now performed by human beings are now performed by machine. Why do we need AI? Say if you are writing examination, you may say, let me memorize all the formulas. That is for purpose of examination, especially for some of us who still write exams in Nigeria. But in the developed countries, particularly in the United States here, I can tell you, I have my children in high school. I have some of them also in middle school. They give to them Chromebook. They prepare them for the industry. Imagine somebody in senior secondary school in Nigeria, or imagine somebody in junior secondary school in Nigeria giving Chromebook. That's the one they use. And the exam, they allow them to use the same Chromebook. So they prepare them ahead for what to meet in the industry. That one also has its own disadvantages anyway, particularly if the relevant control is not built around the Chromebook. But trust these developed countries. When you are using your Chromebook or laptop to write exam, they program it in such a way that you cannot leave that exam platform or the dashboard for the exam. But for us in Nigeria, see one advantage or many advantages we enjoy. One professor here in Southern University, Professor Daniel Ejigiri, one of our board members, shared with me a couple of months ago. He said, give a Nigeria a textbook. He's just talking from experience. They can download everything. They memorize everything. But most of them, when they come here seeking for a job, give them one practical. They don't. That was then. But now everybody's eyes open. Even those who used to operate in the analog way, they know that it is a necessity that you have to change as time changes and adapt ourselves to the environment. We have another African here who went for a job interview. And at that job interview, the only thing they just gave to her, they listed some accounting software, about 13 or 17 of them. They said, okay, out of these accounting software, accounting packages, just tick the ones you have mastery over. And out of them, I think the person was able to tick Sage 50, QuickBook, and Microsoft Excel. And she was examined based on the one she ticked on that piece of paper. So the world is no longer, or organizations are no longer looking for storyteller. There are a lot of problems. So they are looking for problem solver. And remember, the size of the problem you solve affects the size of your income. Some of us are consultants already. It is not in the consulting field that we have a lot of competitors. I will now say you have a problem to solve for a client. You will now sit down manually trying to waste time to solve problems that will take you for days. AI is your companion. When you know the right AI tool to use artificial intelligence. As you can see on the screen, artificial intelligence, data analytics, and smart tax systems. The future. Let's go now. All right, learning objectives. I'm not going to waste time on this learning objective. Let's just go ahead. I have a question. Look up. Those of you online, I know I can hear you better. In 1 minute, here is a question. If you had access to artificial intelligence today, what one tax administration problem in Nigeria would you solve first? Anybody? Online, you can unmute. Just tell us. What one tax administration problem in Nigeria would you solve first? Let's make it interactive. The next 30 minutes, I want us to really brainstorm. Tomorrow is the real hands-on. Data analytics, thank you from Patti Umar. Thank you for that submission. Data analytics. Any other submission? What one tax administration problem in Nigeria would you solve first? Data analytics, let me pick. Any other one? Tracking income of organization from Monday. Mr. Monday, thank you for direct tax deductions. I like that. Any other one? I expect us to chorus it. There are a lot of challenges. Tax administration. One more before I go to the next slide. Data integration. Data integration. Fantastic. Okay, the Samuel, Mr. Thank you for that submission. All right. Now, it will interest us to know that we have identified 3. See another electronic tax filing. Thank you, Mr. Mudashiru Lawal. Now, it will interest us to know that all these tax administration problems with the right AI tool, as we are going to be seeing during the course of this master's program, can be handled within seconds, sometimes minutes. I just shared with us during the keynote address. I was in Nigeria, see tax leakage and corruption. Fantastic. From Okezi Samuel again, fantastic. I was in Nigeria, I told us in March, and we are giving the tax assessment or tax liability of over 16 million. I'm not blaming the NRS, Nigerian Revenue Service. They've done their work. If a taxpayer refuses to do the classification or prepare or maintain the right record for purpose of tax, they will use the best of judgment. And the Nigerian Revenue Service just applies 7.5% on all the revenue or all the amount credited to the bank statement of our organization. But when I saw it, I said, okay, they have done their own part because the taxpayer, the tax authority all out there to collect the maximum tax. Whereas the taxpayer also want to leverage on the loopholes, tax avoidance, that's the tax avoidance, the legal one. So I sat down with one of the AI tools, uploaded the bank statement, over 82 pages, bank statement. With the right prompting, I did not get it correct. First attempt, second attempt, third attempt. Sometimes the AI tool will tell me I am thinking. A lot of things I'm thinking. We are going to see that practically demonstrated by the grace of God. Tomorrow we'll do some practical demonstration. Now, the summary is this. Think of any tax administration problem in Nigeria or anywhere in the world. With the right AI tool, this problem we provide relevant guidance within seconds. I will not tell you solution, because when we say corruption has nothing to do with us. All the has nothing to do with AI. All AI will do for you is to provide irrelevant data that will expose the magnitude of corruption. Let's go to the next page. Please mute yourself. Those of us online, mute yourself. And from all B, you can mute also for now. Let's check the screen. There is another puzzle here. The mystery of the missing tax revenue. The mystery of the missing tax revenue. The table below shows the VAT collected and the table below shows the VAT collected and VAT remitted by 5 companies during the first quarter of the year. Please, all B, let your video be on so I can see the participants. Let the video be on. All right. So we have the table. So the table below shows the VAT collected and VAT remitted by 5 companies during the first quarter of the year. Can you see company? Alpha Limited, Bravo PLC, Charlie Limited, Delta Limited, Echo Limited. VAT collected in millions, 82 for Alpha, VAT remitted 82. For Bravo PLC, 65 collected, 61 remitted. For Charlie Limited, 75 collected, 48 remitted. For Delta Limited, 90 collected, 90 remitted. Echo Limited, 56 collected, 33 remitted. The challenge is this. Without using a calculator initially, discuss with the person beside you and answer this following question. Which company presents the highest tax compliance rate? Discuss, brainstorming we are doing now. Which company would you audit first? I want you to put something on paper after brainstorming with the next person, and I will call upon 1 or 2. You read out your response to this question, to this challenge. Number 3, approximately how much VAT may have been withheld? And the last question is, if you had access to AI and data analytics, what additional information would you request before making a final decision? Anybody? You can unmute and speak. Which company presents the highest tax compliance risk? Who is speaking now?
Response from here.
If there is response from the all Nigeria, they can walk up to the systems.
All right. Somebody's coming.
Meanwhile, Masterclass, your video is not on. I'm not seeing anybody. The all. The video is on now. Please set it to the participant or focus the laptop, the participant. All right. Do we have anybody who want to respond to that? Which company presents the highest tax compliance risk? Masterclass 2026 is muted. I may not hear if they are even talking. Let's unmute. All right.
The correct answer is Charlie.
Echo. Mr. Banana Christopher says Echo Let's see. Do you agree?
From the hall here, God. Alice, the overwhelming answer.
Charlie Limited is overwhelming answer. Which company present the highest tax compliance risk? Because Charlie received 74 and remitted 48. Why is the all choosing Charlie Limited? Why have you chosen Charlie Limited? Please.
Okay, let's allow somebody approach the podium to respond.
Okay. Okay.
Dr. Jima, please. Okay, please, madam, you can.
When you say Charlie, whatever answer you have chosen or whatever choice, let's just let people hear. What's your reason? That's
all right.
accountable.
Somebody's coming through. Somebody's coming to the mic to give a response.
All right. That's okay. That's okay.
Let's take that way. Let's just manage it so you can see.
Good afternoon. So I chose Charlie because he presents the highest risk of 26 million compared to the other companies. So that's the highest loss.
Thank you, ma'am. Let's appreciate her. So let's go to the second question. Let's go to the second question. Which company would you audit first? The same Charlie, right?
Yes.
Which
same Charlie, as he said.
Yes. Then number 3, approximately how much VAT may have been withheld without calculator? Remember the challenge, without using a calculator initially, discuss with the person beside you and answer. I will ask for percentage. Thank you. Somebody already giving the answer. Approximately, we can 30 million, sir. Mr. Okezi Samuel says 30 million. Can you unmute? Tell us how you arrive at 30 million. Let's make it interactive. How did you arrive at the 30 million? So others can. All right. Maybe it's not in the.
Or do we have anyone in the hall here?
Any other person, how do we arrive at 30 million? Approximately how much VAT may have been withheld that is not remitted without calculator?
Okay, we have another opinion here. 53.
Okay.
For her. Dr. Jima, please. How may I explain how you arrive at
33?
Yes, 53. Dr.
53.
Jima is coming.
All right. Let's see if I get it right. How did you come about 53 or 30? The correct thing to be done. Bravo collected 65, remitted 61. 4. Right, 4 out somewhere. Charlie collected 74 and remitted 48. Find the difference, write it out. The Echo Limited collected 56 and remitted 33. Find the difference. So sum the 2 together, the 3 together. That is 53, right?
Yes.
All right. Now for question 4. If you had access to AI and data analytics, what additional information would you request before making a final decision? Those online can just submit the way you have been doing before. Then if we have anybody from within the hall in Nigeria that want to contribute, what other information, additional information would you request? Bank statement, I like that. Bank statement, let's begin to list them. Next, what are the documents that you need, that evidence VAT collected and VAT remitted? I'm just giving us a clue now. What other document? Bank statement, fantastic. What about invoice? Vouchers and receipts, fantastic. Thank you for your cash book. Thank you for that. And so on and so forth because of our time. Let's go to the next slide. Another challenge. Can you spot the fraud? Pay attention now. Invoice, bank statement, VAT returns. Fantastic. We are going to the next challenge. Can you spot the fraud before AI does? That is, we have talked about artificial intelligence. We also have the human intelligence. We also have all manner of intelligence. But now you are saying, before AI spot it for you, Can you spot the fraud before AI does? That is the title of this puzzle. Scenario: an internal revenue service receives the following supplier payment request within 1 week. Invoice 1101, vendor, Bright Solutions Limited. Amount 12,450,000 naira. Date 10 July. Invoice 1102, Apex Global Limited. Amount 18,200,000 naira. Date 11 July. Invoice 1101, Bright Solutions Limited. Limited in full. Then amount is 12,450,000 naira, 12 July. Invoice 1104, Zenith Supplies Limited, 21,500,000, date 13 July. The invoice 1105, Apex Global Limited. The amount is 18,200,000 and the date is 14 July. Here is the discussion now. Challenge. Working in groups of 3, because of time, we may not do group of 3. The people online, it's like they are the one listening and participating, spirit, soul, and body here. They already, the answers are coming in. But let me just read. Working in groups of 3, identify as many red flags as possible within 2 minutes. The first question is, which transaction appears suspicious? Quick. Which one? I've seen from online, somebody put Bright Solutions Limited. Because you are muted, and you may not want to speak. Maybe you are in your office. Now, if you say Bright Solutions Limited, Bright Limited should be investigated. I love that. If you look at invoice 1101, Bright Solutions Limited, LTD, 12,450,000, 10 July. Then check again, invoice 1101, Bright Solutions Limited, Limited, the same amount, 12,450,000. One presented 10 July, 12 July, and one of the submission is Bright Solutions Limited should be it's suspicious, number one. See, which transaction appears suspicious? Bright Solutions Limited, suspicious. It's not only Bright Solution. Apex, I've seen somebody also drop Apex. Reason for the suspicion is this. Invoice 1102, Apex Global Limited. Can you see 18.2 million, 11 July? Again, we have another invoice 1105. Apex Global Limited again, the same amount, 18,200,000 for 14 of July. Apex Global Limited too. So we have the transactions that appear suspicious are 2 because they have the same amount. But the one that's even more worrisome is that of Bright Solutions Limited, because the first name they use, LTD, is limited. Then the second one, they now put limited in full. You got it? So you need to investigate. They say, which payment may be duplicated? Of course, in the duplication there, except there is a law that permits you to use, that permits us to register a company, Bright Solution LTD, and another person register another company, Bright Solution Limited, and the person will say they are not the same. That one is just LTD, and the other one is Limited. So if the law will not allow and say there is similarities, duplication of them, then Bright Solutions Limited have duplicated as well. So there's duplication, 2 of them. Then which supplier should receive further investigation? Anybody giving answer to that? Is Bright Solutions Limited. Further, and even Apex Global, they are just the vendor name. Yes, Limited and Limited. Thank you for that, Mr. Okezi Samuel. They are really contributing. Number 4, what fraud indicators do you observe? That is the fraud indication. One is LTD, one is Limited, Limited. Then number 5, how would AI detect these anomalies automatically? I will leave us with this. We no need to respond. We are going to see that practically demonstrated by God's grace tomorrow. Why AI is transforming tax administration? Global trends. Number one, digital transformation of tax systems. There has been digitization of tax system. I think some time ago, I don't know if the federal government of Nigeria have gone ahead to sign and seal that contract with, is it Paris now, that they want them to help us digitize our tax or to collect tax. Don't know, but digital transformation of tax system everywhere. Here in the US, they don't chase anybody anywhere. I'm talking from experience, even for late filing. I remember when CIB, not ACSA Global now, Certified Institute of Business Entrepreneur, filed their annual returns because they are non-profit. But they are saying, despite being non-profit, annual returns must be filed as at when due. So CIB filed their annual returns late for 2 years. Penalty of over $7,000 was paid here. They have records for all this. Number two, global trend, explosion of taxpayer data everywhere, in their billions, in their trillions, need for real-time compliance. The last presenter, Associate Professor Lambert, mentioned it. Real-time online, real-time. As you are keying in the transaction, is being processed. Not the kind of batch processing we practiced in those days when I was the UBA. Now customers come, bring their teller. So when they now shut the door of the bank to customer, that is when we will not sit down with system and begin to key in. Number four, automation of tax processes, tax automation. In fact, there is even an AI now called tax AI, GPT tax GPT, just to take care of tax alone. But from what I've seen in that tax GPT, it's addressing taxes in the United States here. I'm still understudying that to see how that one can also fit in to other jurisdictions. Data-driven decision-making, global trend, why AI is transforming tax administration. Increasing sophistication of tax fraud. The people committing this fraud are getting sophisticated every day, garnering new knowledge on how to defraud. So the relevant tax authority need also to step up on how to discover this fraud, to uncover fraud. Demand for efficient revenue collection. We know that majority of the revenue that accrue to the purse of most government is from taxpayer, particularly government who utilize this revenue judiciously. So they want more of this revenue to render services. And see these codes. Data is the new oil. Artificial intelligence is the refinery. When you have oil in its raw state, crude oil, like we have, guess what happened to vehicles that use gas? We call it gas here, or petrol, if there is no refineries to refine them. Refining of crude oil is so important that we even leave our country, take them abroad to go and refine and bring them in their finished products. So the same thing, what refineries are to crude oil is what artificial intelligence is to data. Data are information, raw materials that need to be processed, generally work on to produce meaning. So data on their own, meaningless until they are worked on to produce meaning. That meaning is information. Why? What is artificial intelligence? I gave a definition earlier. AI refers to computer system capable of performing tasks requiring human intelligence. Examples, machine learning, deep learning, natural language processing. Here, AI, you present text in English language. You want it in Yoruba or Hausa or Igbo. AI can handle all this. Or you even speak in Yoruba or Hausa language or Igbo language, and you want it in English. All this available. Computer vision, generative AI, expert system. AI in modern tax administration. Applications include automated tax assessment with artificial intelligence. We're going to see this by God's grace tomorrow. You can use AI for automated tax assessment. intelligent tax filing, taxpayer support chatbot, automated document verification, compliance monitoring, digital audits, revenue forecasting, fraud detection, tax risk profiling. So I've penciled out about 2 or 3 of these various areas of AI application, which will form the basis of our practical sessions tomorrow by the grace of God. Let's see, smart tax system. What do we mean when we say smart tax? Or what makes tax smart? Is it the smartness of the head of the Internal Revenue Service, as we have here in the US, or as we have in Nigeria, chairman of Nigerian Revenue Service? AI-powered decision-making, digital taxpayer records, blockchain verification, real-time reporting, cloud computing, electronic invoicing, predictive analytics, automated compliance monitoring. We can also pick this aspect of predictive analytics. I can add that to the case study we're going to look at tomorrow, how to use AI to predict the tax you are expecting from the taxpayers. As long as you have the record of the tax they have paid in the time past, you can have an idea. Maybe our tax authority can even graduate to that level and know citizens are not same. That somebody paid tax of 50 million last year is not conclusive that the person will pay the same 50 million this year. But then when you check the pattern, consistency, they've been paying tax range of 1 billion or billions. But suddenly you notice from billion or over a billion naira tax up to hundreds of millions, sufficient to put you into inquiry. But as a tax authority or tax expert, you don't make assumptions. With AI and gather data of this particular taxpayer. Just some prompting, you are going to see, okay, if he has paid tax of this social billion for the past 5 years, this is what we are expecting from him for next tax year. So if he now pay otherwise, that can put you into inquiry. You can now decide to carry out further investigation. That's what we're saying there. Predictive analytics. I'm going to come up with a case studies by God's grace to address that as part of our practical demonstration tomorrow. Automated compliance monitoring. AI can do that. Data analytics in tax administration. Types of analytics. Ladies and gentlemen, when we say data analytics generally, we are saying volume of data, large volume of data that need to be worked on for effective decision making. And in analytics, we talk about volume, we talk about velocity, we talk about veracity, we talk about varieties, and we talk about value. So 5 V's. When we are talking of data analytics, I say volume of the data, the velocity of the data, the veracities of the data, the varieties of the data, and the value of the data. So if you have all these features of data in general, then to face the specifics, types of data and of analytics now, descriptive analytics will tell us what happened. Like when you look at your statement of financial position and you notice that the current assets is not up to the current liabilities. That means there's working capital problem. Or when you look at your income statement, if you are preparing the income statement, talking from private sector now, that's IFRS, so the International Financial Reporting Standards. You look at the provisions of IFRS, IAS 1, says statement of comprehensive income, statement of changes in equity, statement of financial position, and so on. And you check the statement of comprehensive income, and you see a loss there. They say total comprehensive income for the year loss. You are describing the situation. That is, we have made a loss. The next one is diagnostic analytics. This is where you ask, why did it happen? Why are we having these losses? If I apply this to tax, you know a particular taxpayer who pay his tax in billions. And this particular tax year, he now submitted, you see the tax liability in millions. That's enough to put into you see what happened. That's diagnostic analytics. Then the next one is predictive analytics. In predictive analytics, you are saying what is likely to happen. For the tax authority, the taxman, who want more tax, more revenue, he will quickly say, if we don't investigate this matter, in future, this guy will even reduce from millions to thousands. Let us carry our investigation. That was what happened 2 years ago when I said we conducted a workshop for managers and directors from FIRS. Lagos, we had 2 batches. Abuja, we had 2 batches. I'm sure they suspected this taxpayer company in Port Harcourt, and they asked him to go and carry out investigation. And that was when he got there and said they were in the cloud. He said that was the first time he's hearing about cloud. Then the last one, number 4, prescriptive analytics. This is where you now sit down as tax authority, or even as the manager, executive director of your company. If we don't want recurring losses, we have suffered loss, or our competitors have taken over a significant part of the market, significant segment of the market. If you don't want this situation to continue, this is what we need to do. That is types of analytics. Predictive tax analytics, see it here. AI predicts potential tax evasion. This we are going to practicalize by God's grace. Revenue trends, compliance behavior, audit outcomes, taxpayer risk levels, default probability, VAT fraud, customs fraud. And what are the benefits? Better planning, improve revenue, reduce audit costs. Revenue leakages, common sources. Why do you have leakages? Number 1, under declaration. I said the government want to collect as much as possible. The taxpayer want to pay as less as possible. So under declaration, how do we achieve this? With AI, revenue leakages. All you just need to do also, if the relevant tax authority have also integrated, if they have integrated AI into their system, you don't need arguments. You don't need any argument. Especially I've heard from one of our members who also work with NRS in Nigeria, that right in their office, government has given them the autonomy, they have the authority to even access the bank statement of taxpayers. So if the relevant tax authority have access, or even if they don't have access, you can request for that. And once you have access to those bank statements, you can do your own analysis. Then compare it with whatever they will submit. I know some taxpayers, I hope you are happy with me now that I'm saying what they can do to uncover us. It is well. Non-remittance, ghost companies, fake invoices, cash economy, transfer pricing abuses, payroll fraud, customs undervaluation, weak internal controls. When you have weak internal controls, all manner of revenue leakages. But the discussion I'm having this morning on revenue leakages, I'm not limiting it only to leakages on the part of the tax authority. Even you as an individual, you as a company, these are some of the reasons you have revenue leakages. If you don't have a sound and effective internal control system in place, for example, you are bound to experience revenue leakages. I share this story with all. I have an elder brother who had a school in Katsina State, then, to be specific, Puntua in Katsina State, about the best school, best private school in Puntua then. Over 1,000 students. They have primary, they have GSS and secondary and the rest. But to our amendment, every month, when it's month end, he will send a message to my late brother in Chicago. He will be asking for support to pay teachers' salary. Anyway, when we now investigated, further later, we discover that the school bursar have opened another bank account So when people come to collect a line, give them the one he has opened. A similar bank account, they go and pay in there. And before you know it, that guy have erected an upstairs in his village there. Lot of things. And when I saw the experience of my own brother, when God now help us eventually, when we have our own private school in Buhari, Barangonia, Abuja, Nigeria, White Knight Academy. See, contrary to what people do, that they wait till the end of the year before they audit their financial statement. I don't wait. I practice continuous audit. As a matter of fact, our school auditor is also seated there, one of our resource person and the system analyst of ACCS Global. Also in there, every term, as the term is ending, the auditor is going to audit. Weak internal control system will bring about revenue leakage. AI-driven detection of revenue leakages. AI can identify what? Hidden patterns, abnormal tax returns, missing taxpayers, invoice manipulation, duplicate transactions. We're going to see this tomorrow. Revenue anomaly, suspicious payment patterns, unusual expense claims. Expense claims. You know it, the allowable deduction, not allowable deduction. And since you have said transport is an allowable deduction, let us inflate. When you look at trend, when you conduct trend, I will now see, okay, what is the pattern of your transportation? Somebody inflated the figure. AI will detect all the anomalies. And all these things happen in less than a minute once you give the right prompt. Tax fraud detection using artificial intelligence. The AI techniques now include machine learning, pattern recognition, neural networks, anomaly detection, network analysis, text mining. The frauds to be detected or that can be detected using this technique include bad carousel fraud, identity fraud, fake suppliers, payroll fraud, custom fraud, tax refund fraud. Intelligent audit systems. See something now. For traditional audits, we have sample testing, collect sample, manual selection, historical review when you are doing it traditional way. Some time ago, they have asked our auditors in Nigeria, see the question. They asked them, but you guys have just given a clear report about this company. Even our failed banks, when you see the last audited report before those banks failed, you will see in that last paragraph, they will put, in our opinion, the financial statement represent a true and fair view. The auditors are assuring us that everything is well. And shortly after they've assured us, even an unqualified audit report, we now discover problem that the bank has to shut down. And when they ask them the question, you know, one of the excuses they gave, they say in auditing, that's traditional audit now, sampling is allowed. So it is possible that the aspect we did not sample are material and fundamental, and they are the cause of problem. Another excuse auditors gave, that in audits, we are allowed to give management letter or internal control letter or letter of weakness. As now, okay, they now said all the observations that came to our knowledge during the course of audit, we have submitted it to the management for their consumption. Now, to counter what they are saying now, one of the things they say, I doubt if they practice this thing. Okay, going forward, that same internal control letter or letter of weakness that you say you send to management for their consumption, make it public. Shareholders also want to see it. Investors want to see it. But with the AI audits, you can do continuous auditing, full population analysis, real-time alerts, risk scoring, automated evidence gathering. As a matter of fact, we have an audit software called IDEA, Interactive Data Extraction and Analysis Software. With that software, you don't need any sampling. You can sample or you can audit the entire population, whether they are millions or billions. Risk-based taxpayer selection, Traditional method, you go with random audit, but that one will bring about what? Low efficiency. The AI method, you access the taxpayer database, you do the risk scoring, the high risk taxpayer you identify, then targeted audits, those that constitute high risk. Benefit is better compliance, reduced audit costs, higher recovery, efficient manpower utilization. Here are some AI tools that support tax administration. We have Microsoft Copilot, we have Google Gemini, Microsoft Power BI, Excel AI, ACL Analytics, that's Audit Command Language, ACL, ChatGPT, Cloud AI, Tableau, IDEA, that is the one I say, Interactive Data Extraction Analysis, then SAP Tax Solutions, Global Best Practices, OECD, of course, here provide what we need for digital tax administration, risk-based compliance. When you look at Singapore, they have in place AI-assisted taxpayer services. Australia have what they call ATO, and it helps in predictive compliance models. Estonia, fully digital tax system. In United Kingdom, they connect analytics system. United States IRS here, AI-supported audit selection. That will not permit me, I will share another experience for us to know that digital tools are really used to monitor financial transactions here. Some years back, when we organized foreign trading, I used my personal card, my credit card, sometimes debit card, to do hotel reservation in UK, then in Dubai and some other countries. And some of these hotels, because they want to take the whole money, they want to remove all at once, then the bank will block. They will not allow it to go. The transaction will not scale through. So I have this bank where I have my account, JP Morgan Chase Bank. They have, it's not a human being now. They already have this digital tools in place that study the pattern of transaction. Even while people are busy sleeping, the AI or the digital tool is doing its work. And when they study the pattern of transaction I do with my card, they send me a notice that on this also date in the future, they are going to close my bank account. They give me no notice. They say they will close the bank account, both the current account and the credit card. So I have to write one long epistle to them. Here is the reason, this is what I use the money, already they make. In fact, they now advise, go and open another account with another bank. And honestly, at the expiration of the notice given, they close the account, but the money remaining, you send a check. That is what digital tools can do. AI-supported audit selection. Nigerian perspective, current development, FIRS or NRS, digital transformation, Tax Pro Max platform, now the 360, e-filing, e-payment, digital taxpayer identification, data integration, AI opportunities. What are the challenges? Data quality. You know, garbage in, garbage out. The quality of the data used in analysis determine the quality of the information. Informal sector, how do we handle the informal sector? Digital literacy, how many of us, thank God that we are joining this. I know some of us, before now, we have heard about AI. But I can assure you, by the time we are concluding this masterclass, I pray the internet will cooperate with us. You will smile that, yes, I'm glad I came. The infrastructure is another challenge. Practical demonstration, I will leave all this practical for tomorrow. Revenue leakages, we are going to see that high risk taxpayers, fraud indicators, compliance. Let's leave this. Ethical issues, responsible AI, transparency, very, very important. Fairness, inevitable. Accountability, privacy, confidentiality, human oversight, and data governance. Remember, AI supports professional judgment. It does not replace it. Put in another way, no matter the sophistication of the artificial intelligence tool we will ever use or ever access, the place of human brilliance, human intellect, human judgment, and not be overemphasized. Future of tax professionals, as I close, tomorrow's tax professional must possess AI literacy, data analytics, digital auditing, cybersecurity awareness, business intelligence, cloud technology, critical thinking, professional ethics, then continuous learning. Future of smart tax systems, emerging technologies include generative AI, blockchain, robotic process automation, Internet of Things, digital identity, quantum computing, intelligent compliance, autonomous tax systems. Our key takeaway, as I conclude, AI is transforming tax administration. Number one, data is the foundation of smart taxation. Predictive analytics improve revenue assurance. AI strengthens fraud detection. Intelligent audits improve efficiency. We say risk-based compliance increases tax collection. Then continuous learning is essential, very, very important. And on this note, if you see the screen here, we have another program package only on AI, just artificial intelligence. And that one, all you just need is a strong internet connection wherever is your location. And if you check this flyer you are seeing on the screen very well, stream 4, I will tell you the reason I'm sharing this with us now. We asked stream 1 last year, November. We asked stream 2 in February this year. We asked stream 3, May this year. And the stream 4 is next month, August. It's a 4 weeks. And when we say 4 weeks, it's not Monday to Saturday now. Only Saturdays. Maximum 1 hour, 30 minutes. Only on AI. At the end of this certification course, minimum, you will master the use of 8 artificial intelligence to minimum. It may be up to 10. And with that one, you are equipped, not just to hear one is ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, Grok. No, with real life case studies, we are going to have this. I bring a prayer again that more especially those of us, the all in Abuja, Nigeria, that you have strong internet to do demonstration of the case study we are going to be handling tomorrow. But I have to show us this one ahead, so that in case you don't have strong internet connection tomorrow, all you just need to do is to watch as I'm doing my demonstration. And another advantage is I'm recording this. You can now follow the step-by-step later when you go back to your homes. You have strong internet access. You now practice what case study, whatever case study we are going to do tomorrow. Because by God's grace tomorrow, I will be using minimum 3 artificial intelligence tools. Okay, let me say 2 because of time. Minimum 2 AI tools that will help us to detect fraud in tax and other related areas. I have 2 or 3 case studies like that to be handled tomorrow within the time. And for this certification course in artificial intelligence, applications for professionals and top executives, 4 Saturdays only, starting August 8th. And the time in West Africa, that's Nigeria, in Pacific now, is 5 p.m. In US here is 11 a.m. And I said the fees there are either $50 or $50. I'm going to drop, after this meeting, I will drop the flyer with the link to registration. I will drop on our WhatsApp platform, that those who want to be part of this can register. In conclusion, the future of taxation will not be defined merely by laws and regulations, but by the intelligent use of data, technology, and innovation. Tax professionals who embrace artificial intelligence and analytics today will become the architects of tomorrow's trusted, transparent, and resilient tax systems. And I want to lend my voice also to the importance of what we are doing today. SARS and MAS, ladies and gentlemen. This is the right time. If we have not done so before, this is the right time we begin to have a mental picture of our desired future when it comes to the application of artificial intelligence. You should be the one causing the disruption so you will not be disrupted. And I put it here again, the future we don't prepare for. When that future eventually arrives, we may not fit into it. But to us in ACCS Global, digital accountant, system accountant, if we follow religiously the knowledge, the skills to be acquired during this 3 days program and the upcoming one that we're going to join, honestly speaking, whereas others are saying there is a casting down, your own song will be there is a lifting up. Thank you for your attention. God bless you all. It's time discussion or question. But if we have the third paper ready, I will suggest that the third paper presenter go ahead. Then we'll take the question collectively. Just pencil down your question. But the reality is I have another appointment for 7 a.m. here in the US, and it's exactly 7. If you permit me to go. Thank you. See us tomorrow. By God's grace, please pencil down your questions. Pencil down your questions. We can give our questions to Associate Professor Lambert, our African representative. They will all be addressed by God's grace. I'm not hearing you from the all. But...
Hello, Prof. Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear.
All right, so we can let you go, Prof, so that you can keep to your appointment.
Thank you very much.
One more time, please, can we give Prof a round of applause? Thank you very much. I know you'll be back with us tomorrow for another deeper, practical, insightful session. Thank you, online participants. We can see the applause also for him. All right. So I was trying to inform us that we ordinarily should be going, well, we're checking with the restaurant if lunch time is ready. They will give us that information. But in the meantime, I think we can continue with our introduction. It's also a very important high point. By the time we quickly take the introduction, we will be sure whether the lunch is ready, because one thing with the lunch is once we are given a time, because of the nature of the environment we are, we're expected to go there and come back. There is a very practical component that will come shortly. Most likely after lunch, if lunch is ready now. And that's why, please, if the installation has not been done, you can indicate to consultants that we do the installation of that particular software for you so that we can demonstrate it. But in the meantime,
I'm Deputy Director of Finance and Accounts, National Biotechnology Development Council from the center. I'm a member of CITN, member of Chartered School of Forensic
tí bá wọn tí bá wálé yìí ó sì mọ tẹ́tẹ́ ní pé kàlẹ́ tí mo lè jẹ. Àwọn ọmọ tí mo bẹ̀ ní pé kí àwọn síbẹ̀ mi ti mọ ọgbọ́n lẹ́nu ọlọ́run mi kí wọn ìrírí kan fún wọn bí àwọn jẹ́ kọ́. Wọ́n dàrọ̀ àmì lọ́sọ̀ gbogbo tí wọ́n dà kọ́ ọ̀dẹ́ dà bẹ́ẹ̀. Ọdún ti lálẹ́ yìí kankan tí bá wọn wọ́n á pè wọ́n ní ẹ̀dá kun torí ọlọ́run àárí nǹkan kan fún yín o ọlọ́run sì lè fi sẹ́wọ̀n pé yà bá ṣe tí ẹ bá ṣe pa àṣọ tó orúkọ yà lọ kódà tó tó orúkọ abẹ́rẹ́ tí a lẹ́yìn olùkọ́ ọ̀sán tó owó báyìí o ẹ má bínú mo mọ̀ pé nígbà tí ọba ìjọba ọlọ́run ó ṣe
ló bá rà ó ní kó ra lòkú táyé lọ ó ní bí ṣe wọ káàkiri ó ní òun pè bóyá ẹni fi dòdò rẹ jẹ
kó kí ọ̀rọ̀ bọ̀.
ìyàwó ní wọ́n ṣe é padà sábà.
Èmi máa ń sọ wípé ẹwà àwọn ọmọ tí mo.
Kókó wá ti bí obìnrin máa ń ojúṣe ni wá gẹ́gẹ́.
Gómìnà ti mú olùkọ́ gbẹ̀dá kan ní bàtí. Yẹ máa ń ṣe sí. Sẹ́ni mo kò wá ju bí dọ́kítà ìdókòwò lọ́wọ́ tó
Ẹ wàá
ń
mọ̀
sáré
bẹ́ẹ̀ wá
owó ti bẹ̀
sí.
lọ́wọ́.
Ọmọ ẹ̀ tí wọ́n lọ fún lórí obìnrin lò lọ́wọ́ àbí. Pè mí ló yẹ kó mọ̀.
Ọwọ́ ni ẹ má bínú sẹ́mi pé táyì yóò lò láyé.
Had a wife and a son. My whole world. I gave everything to my son. Skip me worked overtime just so he could finish college.
Ṣé òun gbádùn yín ògùn tẹ́ ẹ sọ yẹn?
Start of our new life. But things changed. My wife grew distant. My son got busy. They stopped calling. One day, both left. Oh, goodbye. I waited. Days turned to years. No one came back. I lost the house. I lost my purpose. I slept on streets. Forgotten. People looked away. But deep inside, I held on to one thing. My voice and the hope they'd hear it. Now I'm here on the stage. Not to win. Not for fame. Just to sing one song. Then, maybe they'll hear me. Maybe they'll remember. I never stopped loving them. So this is my song for them. You were my life, my reason why. Now I just talk to
Ṣé Tecno ni fóònù yìí ni? Mọ́mì, Tecno náà ni fóònù yìí. Tecno kí ni? Ẹsẹ̀ rá ni o. Ọdún méjì. Bátìrì ẹ̀ wà ńkọ́?
All right, online participants, thank you very much. What we are having currently is the brainstorming session. Online participants, but we'll assure you the paper we are to have as a third one will come up shortly. So if you can go through the program of activity, you can also read the question and attempt to do it. So for the next 15 minutes, we are on the brainstorming session. We'll come back to you with the continuation. Thank you very much, our online participants.
Over the next week,